Boys. Hey, boys.
What?
Do you know what episode this is?
No.
Talk to me.
69.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And welcome, and welcome, and welcome, and welcome. Welcome, I guess, to the Miles Offside podcast. And welcome.
And welcome to another episode of the Miles Offside podcast, where we talk a little bit of football and a whole lot of me, an 8-year-old, beating Oscar, a football podcaster, in the Predictor League. My name is Finley Stimpson, also known as 2 points behind the other host, Chuck Bailey, the only man to be on every episode of the Miles Offside podcast.
Well, look where we are. My name is Oscar Puente, also known as Footy from Afar. And with me, as always, are my co-hosts Chuck Bailey and super producer Ian Stimpson. Gentlemen, we done made it to 69 episodes.
And still, just to back up Finley Stimpson, still, as always, Mr. 100%. Yeah, baby.
Yep, I've missed one episode, I believe.
Well, that's one too many.
I've missed loads.
Yeah, Stimmers has missed like 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah,
Still is part-time, but it helped us. Mr. Dave Mateo stepped in a few times, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So for such a momentous occasion, such as episode 69, nice. We thought we'd want to, keep things fresh, keep things spicy in our relationship, and so we're doing a bit of a greatest hits kind of thing. But before we jump in to all the clips that the listeners have suggested and super producer Ian has picked out and all that, we thought we'd start off with giving a little bit of a sort of intro to us as sports fans and how the podcast came about for any newer listeners that we have who may not have heard our origin story. So Chuck, why don't you kind of tell everybody where we're coming from here?
So I was on a tour of a science lab. I was at the back of a tour, and then a spider dropped down and bit me on the hand, and now I can shoot webs and shit.
No, wrong origin story. Wrong. Our origin story, not yours.
Oh, sorry. How do I dress up self-indulgent so it doesn't seem too bad?
It's fine.
No,
it's fine.
We all very keen fantasy Premier League players. Some better than others. Mostly Ian's better than us. And we used to listen to a podcast called Gaffer Tapes, how we got to know each other and interacted on the Twitters.
R.I.P. and peace, Gaffer Tapes.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Seems to be on permanent vacation. It's a bit sad. But yeah, then for about 4 years we talked about doing an offshoot as a joke, and then we realised how much we got on because we're all kind of dicks. And as we'll see through this, like a lot of weird kind of interconnectivity comes up, be that our kind of love of sport, all things weird, and nerdiness.
Yeah, we are really strangely kindred spirits. What was it the other day that you were texting in the chat that I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Oh, the car thing. We were talking about dream cars and you were like, oh, I really love the car from Gone in 60 Seconds. Its name is Eleanor and it's a great car. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, seriously, that's like literally my dream car. I showed Emily, my wife, that text and she was like, that's unreasonably eerie that you guys have that exact same fictional car as your dream car.
It's quite something. And I just press record and listen to it happen.
I think especially listening back to these clips, it's astounding how much like early on in the season, Ian, you were just like, I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to sound stupid. And then, me and Oscar just made such tits of ourselves. You were like, oh, okay, I can't do any worse here, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's right. After about 5 episodes of me being like, Ian, do you want to chime in? And be like, no, just go back to Chuck. Just like, have to cut out the parts where it was like, Ian, do you have an opinion? No, I don't.
No, not really. No.
After a while, he was like, oh, I can totally have an opinion. These guys are idiots. But it was really fascinating when we first started recording. Like, Ian, you and I had never even spoken.
Episode 1 was the first time we spoke.
Yeah. I had heard your voice because Emily, when I turned 30, did like she got like everyone that I'm friends with in the world to like send in like a 30-second clip wishing me a happy birthday from all around. It was like a really beautiful like thing that she did. And she, I guess, reached out to you because she knew we were friends from Gaffer Tapes.
Yeah.
And so I saw your beautiful face and heard your voice and I was like, holy shit, that's what Ian Stimson sounds like?
That's what you thought straight away. Get him on the pod.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at now. But we did put out a call to action for our listeners and Patreons to sort of submit some clips as far as our greatest hits. Turns out we should have quit after episode 32 because all of our greatest hits are from very early on.
Yeah, not been so good lately.
No, but that is a useful opportunity for our newer listeners who came in at season 2 or from our guest appearances on various podcasts to sort of catch up on a lot of the inside jokes and the early days of the pod. So, Stimmers, what's the first clip we have here? Why don't you paint a picture for the listeners?
So the first clip is back from episode 31, and patron and current Predictor League champion Johnny OG asks a question about whether it's a bit cringy that Americans listen to the national anthem before every sporting event.
He's got a question for Oscar. Is it a bit cringe having the national anthem played at the beginning of every sporting event, or is that just normal for you?
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Yes.
When we were in London and we watched the Chelsea-Arsenal match, that was the first time I'd ever seen a sporting event outside of the US, and I was very surprised to learn that not everyone in the world does the national anthem.
Really?
Yeah, I never knew that.
That not everyone's all about nationalism.
Yeah, apparently. We do it at everything, so I never thought it was weird. And then the only other sporting stuff that I had like really watched was the Olympics and the World Cup, and obviously they play the national anthems there.
Fair.
So I was like, oh, they just do national anthems. I figured if like they don't show the national anthem on TV, other than like when it's the finals or the playoffs. But like a regular season baseball match, right? They're not going to tune in and be like, here's the national anthem before the 127th game of the season, because there's 165 games every season. Like,
Yeah.
so I got to Chelsea Arsenal and I was like, oh, we're going to hear God Save the Queen. Cool. That'll be fun. And then, nope.
Oh, wow.
Just never happened. Yeah. So it not weird at all. Not cringy at all. I mean, I hate our national anthem, but.
But American sports, don't they also sing America the Brave as well? Like there always seems to be two songs sometimes.
What you're thinking of is specifically only in baseball, because in baseball it's so boring they have to break it up. So at like the seventh, there's something called the 7th inning stretch, which is basically like, you've been sitting here for 7 innings and this is a really fucking boring sport. So why don't you go buy a beer, go for a walk, whatever. Okay. And that's when they sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Have you guys heard that song before?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's when they sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And then after 9/11, they started doing God Bless America, not America the Brave.
Okay.
But that's only in baseball and only recently.
See, I thought there was something when I saw the basketball, but one thing I did remember that was quite strange is that obviously when you do sing the national anthem anywhere else, everyone sings, but the American national anthem, just one person sings it.
That's because the American national anthem is like very well known for being impossible to sing for like even the best singers in the world. The lyrics are racist and backwards and terrible, and then musically it's fucking garbage. Like, it's an impossible song because it's all over the map. Like, you basically have to be Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey to be able to sing it well. It's the worst national anthem. We really have a terrible national anthem. Musically and lyrically and all of it. What the fuck are ramparts? What are ramparts? Does anyone know?
Ramparts are the bit on top of a castle.
All right, Mr. England, we have castles all over the place. Now we know, American listeners, that's what ramparts are.
It's like that bit. It's like that bit at the top.
Craggly bit at the top.
Edge looking over towers and shit. I don't know. Yeah, the English national anthem's boring. Like, I'm alright with the Queen. Like, the Queen's cool and everything, but I think you'd have a bit of a happier song.
Well, and it is kind of weird. Like, every other national anthem is like, our country is great. We love our country. And you guys are like, this one person, we really love her.
Yeah, and we'll change that the second she dies.
Right, yeah. Like, I can't think of any other national anthems that are specifically just for the leader. I mean, I'm sure, like, there are some, like, probably North Korea or something.
Well, there's all kinds of national anthems where they've had to amend them because of, like, how bad they are. Like the Marseillaise for the French national anthem, they had to take out the bit where it's about like beheading the king and revolution, etc., and killing people and that. Germany took out most people think it's Deutschland über alles, but they don't sing that anymore because of obviously it being synonymous with World War II. So they make amendments here or there. The Spanish one's the weirdest one because there are no words. Did something happen in World
War II with them, or?
There's a few bits here or there.
Let's move on before this gets dicey.
Oh dear!
As soon as I said that, I was like, "Uh-oh, bad joke. Take it back."
And he also says, "Who has the best national anthem?" So we've already said that ours are poor. Both.
Yeah, neither US or England. Chuck, why don't you go first?
I do kind of like the French one.
The French one is up there.
Love the French one.
Either that, or if you're going for just sheer ridiculous, like, oh my god, when will it ever end? The Brazilian national anthem is.
It goes for so long,
and that's still shortened. Like, this goes on. It's got like a 45-second intro. Like the English have done their national anthem 4 times.
Yeah. I'm definitely with you. Musically, the French one is just like, it's so jaunty. It's good. I really love the French national anthem. And then, like, do you guys remember the website Cracked? Have you guys ever spent time on Cracked.com?
No, what was that?
It's American, so I don't know if it's popular over there, but they just post, like, it's almost like the better, smarter version of BuzzFeed, so they'll post, like, 7 things that your brain tricks you into thinking are true because of psychology, or, like, and one of the articles I read a few years ago was 7 national anthems that'll make you tremble in fear.
Right.
And so they just like go through the lyrics and the history of the countries and blah, blah, blah. So it's like comedy, but also like intelligent. And when I saw this question on the rundown, I immediately thought of it. So I went back to that article because I was like, there's something really good there. And it is the Algerian national anthem. I don't know if you guys are aware of it at all.
No.
But I'll just read, musically it's whatever, it's fine. But I'll read the first, I don't know, paragraph? What do you call it?
Is it in Arabic or
it is, but I have the English translation in front of me.
Okay, good. I believe it would be a stanza or a verse.
Yes, stanza or verse. That's the word I was thinking of. Verse. Paragraph. All right. Well, we swear by the lightning that destroys, by the streams of generous blood being shed, by the bright flags that wave, flying proudly on the high mountains, that we are in revolt, and whether we live or die, we are determined that Algeria should live. So be our witness, be our witness, be our witness.
Fuck yeah, let's play some football.
Badass. We swear by the lightning that destroys and the streams of generous blood. Like, that's really fucking cool.
Yeah, they fuck about. But I suppose that all of them, like, that's probably not a bit they sing now, maybe. I don't know.
I think it is. It's like the beginning. It's the intro to it. Later on, they're like, France sucks, fuck France. I don't know if that's still in there. The Italian national anthem was weirdly anti-Austria and, like, talks shit about Poland a few times, too. I don't know if you guys know that, or you ever sort of looked up the lyrics to it.
I wasn't privy to that information before, but it makes a bit of sense. I mean, like, European relations, I'm not calling Italians racists.
Tread lightly here. So are we kind of going with France, I guess?
Yeah, I think so. The Nigerian one deserves a mention. It starts a bit like 2001's Space Odyssey, just sort of like weird sounds and drums, and I'm like, yeah.
Fantastic. Haven't heard that, so there's your teaser tweet for the week.
Might have to stick. I'll bubble all of these theme tunes. Theme tunes. I've just called.
Like a theme tune to France. What is that? Like when you fly into Nigeria, all of a sudden, like they just open the doors, like dong, dong,
theme tune. That's so good.
Nigeria.
I don't know if you've heard the Nigerian theme tune. Jesus Christ. What an idiot.
Yeah, they changed it after season 7.
I'm just picturing, like a map of Nigeria walking around, like poking its head, be like, hey neighbor, can I borrow some water?
A bad sitcom.
So there we go, that's our favourite theme tunes.
Dave Mateo comes in. Would you watch a football all-star skills contest like they do in the NFL or NHL?
Yes.
Fuck yes.
So what is this thing? What are we looking at?
Well, I find it quite weird because I was watching because at the minute the NFL, the Pro Bowl's been on, right? So you do the Pro Bowl, which is obviously the division between like the two conferences. Why is the English guy explaining this?
I was saying, no idea.
I don't know. You took it, so I'm just letting you go. I'd love to hear this. Keep going.
So they have the AFC and the NFC division or conference, whichever level. I don't know what they're bloody called. And then they pick the best players, and then they obviously play each other in one game. But before that, you have like weeks of different challenges and like mini camps, which are usually in like Hawaii or somewhere ridiculous. And so all the players fly out, and then they'll do like ridiculous challenges. Like the kickers will have to kick over a house and then over the hoop and stuff like that. And it's just all taking the skills they use in the sport, but in kind of more ridiculous situations to be entertaining. But what I find really weird about this is that it happens before the Super Bowl. So like people could be there like dicking around and just like fuck themselves up and then not playing the Super Bowl.
So this is current professional players doing this?
Yeah. Although, Chuck, I'm pretty sure usually guys who are going to be in the Super Bowl, because the Pro Bowl's the week before the Super Bowl. So I'm pretty sure guys who are in the Super Bowl don't really go. And if they do go, it's just a hangout. They don't like really exert themselves. In baseball and in basketball, it happens at the halfway point of the season. So the All-Star, these things always happen around AllStar Weekend. Every sport in the U.S. has an All-Star game, and they make like a whole festive weekend out of it, which I do wish they had that in the Premier League. That would be so fun to just watch like all the best players just like play with each other in just like some game just for like fun, not for pride. So like no one goes crazy at it. Guys are hitting half-court shots in basketball, all this sort of stuff. So like notably, you guys probably have heard of the Home Run Derby, right? I feel like that's pretty well known.
Nope.
No.
In baseball? No, really? Oh, I thought it was. Wow. Basically, they take like the guys who are the 10 best hitters and they just throw easy pitches at them, like slow and down the middle, and they just hit as many home runs as they can over and over and over again. So these guys are just hitting like bombshells out of the park, out of the stadium. It's super fun to watch. In basketball, they do the slam dunk contest.
Yeah.
And the three-point shooting contest. So like the dunk contest, Jordan has had some of his most iconic moments there, where basically they're like, here's a ball, do the coolest dunk you can think of, and we'll pick the winner.
Yeah. They often jump over cars and stuff like that, and there'll be someone like they won't have the ball. There'll be someone like poking their head out of the sunroof, holding the ball up, and they jump over from the boot of the car across the sunroof, pick the ball up, and slam. Sick. No,
but how fun would it be to watch like I don't know Kevin De Bruyne taking free kicks from the edge of the opposite penalty area? You know what I mean? Like trying to see who can score from the farthest away.
It's kind of, like when you play FIFA, like the mini games you get in between like the game starting or whatever.
That's
like,
perfect.
That
that's
kind
exactly
of stuff.
what it's like.
Like having the ball, like the bins that move around and trying to like lob the ball in. Like why not do that? Why does it have to be like...
That'd be super fun.
Irrelevant footballers like F2 freestylers that just do these videos.
You know what would be good is at the halfway fucking point of the season when everybody's dying in December, make that your thing around Boxing Day. Turn that week into like the All-Star Weekend, All-Star Week festivities. So you have people, something to watch on TV. You have them do like the goal from the farthest away, who can kick the most balls into a bin in 30 seconds, a dribbling track where they're like, go around these cones as fast as you can, whatever other stuff that they could come up with. And then have an All-Star game at the end of the week where like it's voted on by the fans like it is in the American sports. And you're like, okay, now I get to see Aguero playing with Hazard. Or, whatever. Yeah. Like Hazard and Salah on the wings.
So, based
on
what you and Dave are saying here, this is a thing in football, hockey, baseball, basketball.
MLS has it too.
Right, okay. So, is there like a proper sense of fun missing from the Premier League? Like
English football. Well, yeah. I was going to say, like, this is all predicated on it being a happy country.
Yeah, this is the thing. That sounds great, but like,
we've got fans that don't want cameras at our games. Never mind them bloody running around, going around cones and kicking balls in buckets. The outrage if anyone was injured in that game. Fuck.
But like kids would love that. Yeah, I do feel like there's no sort of sense of fun really allowed in English football.
No, I wasn't going to say it, but you guys are a country full of miserable bastards. So
yeah.
Correct.
Just kidding. I love you guys.
We also make up 2/3 of this podcast, mate. So watch your fucking mouth. Right?
Chuck, carefully, if Oscar goes, so does 2/3 of our listenership.
No, it's all right. We've still got Norway.
Huge in Norway. Shout out to our Norwegian listener. Now we know who it is.
It'll be the east of England, South London, and some of Norway.
Yeah,
That'd be
probably
it.
not even South London.
Huge in Barbados, mate. Huge in Barbados.
Holding our place in the chart in Barbados. Don't you worry about that.
Hey.
Oh, wait, where are we sitting in the charts?
69.
69?
Yeah.
How have you only just told me that we're 69 in somewhere? We're 69
Yeah.
in Barbados, yo.
Woo!
Yeah.
Did we ever
Yeah.
blip back on the Norwegian radar? Or
No, one
Okay, just that
blaze
one
of
time.
glory moment, and then just smashed out. Yeah. Well, we
Yeah,
need to
I'm wondering if your impressions had something to do with that. Or not your impressions, but your attempts at Norwegian.
translations. Yeah.
I think you're on fake websites.
Fake news. I think what we need to do for Norway is, and I've been advised by this on Twitter, is we just need to do another FPL episode. I think Scandinavians are crazy for the fantasy football.
Okay, by Pogba.
Oh, good. Well done. Yeah, that's good advice. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. That's Norway sorted.
Sorted.
What's their theme tune?
Norway theme tune.
couldn't tell you.
We'll play it. I'll bubble it under.
I don't know. Roald Dahl's from Norway, isn't he?
No idea.
Something. What's the Matilda theme tune? Umbawe, diddly-do, umbawe, diddly-do. No.
Are you having a breakdown?
Yeah,
what
maybe.
is happening over there? Ian, I was just going to
That's
let
the
him go for a
Matilda
while.
theme tune.
What's that got to do with anything?
Because Roald Dahl wrote Matilda, and he's from Norway, Denmark.
But
Denmark.
you didn't seem sure of any of this.
Yeah, 0%.
I know. I just kind of.
I'm trying to
Trundle
go
along.
with it, but when the person saying it isn't even
Yeah.
100% committed, I'm like, can we
Yes.
really?
Yeah, you can still follow me a bit, mate. It's
Okay,
fine. Next,
I've tried.
next question.
Oh, such a lovely clip. I did heartily enjoy listening back to that. We definitely just listened to the entire thing while we were recording, sat silently. Definitely.
Yes, I really did enjoy insert timestamp here. When this person said that thing.
Cool. Okay, that's going to be great, this, isn't it?
Yeah, seamless. Yeah, that one was... I think especially, like, Oscar, you put me onto this when we were kind of re-listening to the clips and stuff and trying to find stuff of listening to the podcast on double speed. And this one in particular was especially hilarious, especially once Ian puts in the beds.
Norwegian national anthems.
Norwegian.
Double
and-
speed.
I believe you mean the Norwegian theme tune, if I'm not
The theme tune,
mistaken.
of course, yeah. Sorry, the theme tune, of course.
Oh, man. So that's a good one. Episode 31 is going to pop up a lot, actually, for, if you are a completely new listener, I guess maybe go back and listen to that one, because that's a very, very popular episode, apparently. But to take it to our next clip, that one's kind of centered around me and my nerdiness, which is a running theme throughout the history of our show, because I am unreasonably nerdy, I think most people would say. I would say charmingly nerdy, but fuck you guys.
Reacting to insults that didn't even happen there.
Oh, we've been potting long enough. I can preemptively react to the insults you guys are about to throw out. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, the tone had been set over the previous 68 episodes. And I think everyone knows how much of a spreadsheet wanker Oscar is.
Oh,
but
yeah.
when you combine something he loves so much, spreadsheets, creating them specifically, with his other love, Marvel, you get a kind of interesting crossbreed.
Yeah, and this was from an episode that we did right after Stan Lee had died. It was an international break. So we kind of did it in honor of him and in his memory, which was like a year ago last week. Actually, we never really mentioned it on here, but that was like the 1 year anniversary of his passing did just pass. And that was also the first time we had a guest ever. A certain Australian, Dave Mateo, came on the pod. He's a huge nerd too, so it was nice to have someone else to sort of geek off of with talking about the comic books and the characters and all that. Ian, you were like in the middle of first watching the Marvel movies
I don't know what I was up to. I hadn't watched Black Panther yet. I hadn't watched Infinity War.
Yeah.
You guys managed to keep me relatively spoiler free, which was really good. But I was very, very nascent in my viewing of the Marvel films.
Yep. And so it kind of naturally led to a conversation of like, what's the best one? And I went off with introducing my spreadsheet. So have a listen at that. Well, I'm looking at my spreadsheet right now. And I have...
oh, right. Hang on, because this hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck's sake.
Oh, I'm going to have to tweet this out.
Well, you need to talk about what it is first, Oscar.
All right, okay.
Expected Marvel.
Yeah, basically. Just putting numbers on everything so I can understand my own opinions better. We sat down one night and we were like... It was me and Emily, my wife, and we were like, what's the best Marvel movie? And it turned to this huge heated debate, and it was like, well, how are you judging this? Are you judging this on like how entertaining it was? Are you judging it on like how much emotion it made you have? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no, we need to be systematic about this so that we can actually have like a concrete answer. So what we did is we gave, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 categories that we decided are important to the success of a Marvel movie.
It's nice not to be the nerdiest person in a room for once.
yeah, I like that he opened this by going like, you're a nerd. It's like, oh, what did you do one night? I sat down with my fiance and we did a spreadsheet of...
Yep.
God, please tell me it wasn't a Saturday night.
Might have been. Probably.
Oh.
And she filed for divorce the very next day.
No, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Thank God you found each other.
Yeah. We are a pretty perfect match. Well, so here are the 7 categories. Is action... emotional, CGI, villain, wow factor, entertainment, and visuals. Wow factor being like, was there a moment where you were like...
And fappability.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what's a good example of wow factor? When in Civil War he catches the motorcycle or he's like flexing his bicep and holding those helicopter down and you're like, whoa, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Like, how many wow moments does it have? So we give it a score from 0 to 100 in all of those categories. For each movie.
0 to 100, yeah.
And then you do a weighted average of all of them, and you got your final score. And Iron Man 3 comes in at a 32.17 on my scale, so not very good, Dave.
So would that put it above or below you in the Predictor League?
Well, it's not in last place. So...
It's not in last place.
No.
What's below Iron Man 3 at 32.17?
Thor: The Dark World scored a 31.2.
Oh.
And The Incredible Hulk got a 24.
Yeah. Iron Man 2 is above Iron Man 3 for you.
Yeah, oh yeah. Love Iron Man 2.
I want my name taken off this podcast.
I ride for Iron Man 2. The way you ride for Iron Man 3, and that's an unpopular take, I ride for Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 is essentially Iron Man 1 over again, except that War Machine is in it, and it has a better villain.
Yeah, and he has electric whips.
Oh yeah, I'm into that. Gotta pay extra for that, baby.
Kinky.
My top, though, is Civil War. That's for now. I haven't updated the spreadsheet to include Infinity War yet, because I need more time to process what the hell just happened to me. I suspect Infinity War is going to top it, but I'm giving it a few months before I put that into the sheet. But yeah, I have Civil War at a 98.4, so very nearly perfect.
And what's top 3 then? Top 3.
Civil War has a 98, Guardians, the first one, has a 95, and Black Panther and Ragnarok both have a 94.
And then Adam P finishes, he's got 2 rounds of this. 2 rounds of Fuck, Marry, Kill. So the first... Come on, Chuck, you love this.
No, I don't.
Well, you should.
I'm a father now, guys.
Yeah, so this is the only action you might see for a while.
Just get on with the question.
Okay, Chuck, who would you fuck, marry, kill? Hulk, Groot, or Korg?
Is Hulk in, like, hulked out, or, like...
Yeah, hulked out, not Bruce Banner.
Full zucchini mode?
No.
Yeah, that's a no.
So no to what? You're not gonna...
I'm not fucking Hulk.
You're not fucking him? No, okay.
What'd you get fucked by? Which way round does it work?
I mean, it's fuck, not get fucked.
Yeah, you're doing the fucking.
I'll tell you who you don't want to fuck is
Groot. It can't be Groot, because
Splinters. Yeah,
Splinters,
exactly. Yeah.
You don't want to stick your dick in a rock.
I mean, you know.
That's true.
Don't knock it till you try it.
But then you just get radiation poisoning and you'd have to get your dick cut off.
Or you'd have a Hulk dick.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, hang on a minute then.
Catching Hulk VD. Now I got a Hulk dick. Let's go. Clearly fucking Hulk. Okay. That's,
Okay,
that's
I was
locked
going
in.
to say, this is pretty much sorted itself out, I think. So I reckon you marry Korg. I just want him in my life.
Yeah, he's so funny.
I mean, we're fucking Hulk. So we're killing Groot.
We're killing
It
Groot.
sorted itself
You
out.
can't deal with I am Groot all the time. It's very me. Very selfish.
And imagine fucking, aside from the splinters too, it's just like, I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot.
Oh my god. I mean, that's going to be my ringtone now.
I am Groot.
I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot.
Bit weird listening to that one as I am sitting right here in front of 5 different Groot Funko Pops. We have a massive Funko Pop collection in our apartment, and 5 of them, and the ones that are immediately closest to my line of sight where I'm sitting, are Groot, and I feel like they're judging me.
Disgusting
Yeah.
behaviour.
Are they judging you because you did fuck them or because you wouldn't?
No,
or...
I believe I said I wouldn't because of the splinters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's not go into that.
I think anything where you hear the words weighted average in relation to films that you should be just fucking enjoying. Worrying about the stats of it. Weighted average.
What is
Jesus.
this enjoying of which you speak? I don't understand.
Just pure enjoyment.
Obviously, then off the back of that, it comes up again the old superhero topic, and Dave Mateo actually got in touch again a few weeks later to ask us this question relating to superpowers.
If you could have, this is Dave again, sorry. If you could have one superpower just to use in your everyday life, what would you choose?
Teleportation. It's the only answer.
The ability to choke a bitch. And I don't mean that bitch as in woman. Just when when someone's just in your face, just the ability to like freeze time for a second, just smack the shit out of them, and then it's kind of time. Yeah, stopping time, I guess.
Nah, man, it's got to be teleportation.
Yeah?
Gotta be. It's magic, right? So I'll say I take my clothes with me. It doesn't have to be a whole thing. Let's not get into the logistics of it. But, like, you think about how much money you would save on travel. Like, I could just teleport to Rome, and now I get to have a vacation in Rome, but I didn't have to pay for flights, which are always the most
Yeah.
expensive thing.
Yeah, but what if you got like stuck in a wall?
Just don't. Then you teleport out of the wall.
But like, then where's your body? It doesn't work like that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's magic. It's a fucking magic power. When I teleport, I don't accidentally get stuck in walls. There.
Is it like a night? Is it like a night crawler thing where you have to be able to see it to be accurate, or?
No. Fuck it. I can look at a picture of it and I can go there. How about that? Dude, I would have like Chelsea season tickets. I could just go hang out with you guys on a random Friday night. Well, not you guys. You have kids.
I would use your power better.
What was that? We're not fun people.
Yeah, people without kids who like still have, lives and
Money and shit.
all that stuff. Yeah. Chuck,
Yeah, fair.
I'm with him, mate, yeah.
Except you're 2-1 here, Chuck. No, I mean, like, legit. And obviously, like, day to day, too. Like, you can just teleport to work and teleport home. You don't have to ever sit in traffic again.
Yeah, I thought there might be a bit more play in this question, but you have pretty much nailed that answer, I think. Because
No, I still want to be able to pause time and just smack someone in
But
the
that's
face.
all... so
Yeah, but you
violent.
could do a teleport punch and then teleport away, and they'd have no idea what even happened.
Yeah, it could be like One Punch Man. One Punch.
Oh, that's a good show. I
Really
used
good
to say that if I was king of the world, I would institute a rule where you have like the logistics would get a little tough, but let's say you have a card. And on the card, you get, you can like basically swipe it or debit it, and 3 times a day, you are allowed to punch someone in the face. Just 3 times. And they don't carry over. If you don't use all 3, you don't get 6 the next day. But like, this was, because I just used to get like really annoyed at people on the subway. And it'd be like, this motherfucker's standing on the left side. I'm trying to get up the escalator because I'm running late. Like, just give them your card and then you punch them. And they're not allowed to say no. And if they want to use one of their punches to punch you back, fine. If they don't, if they want to save it for some douchebag later who's being a douchebag somewhere else, fine.
If I want to punch someone, can I inquire as to whether they've used all their punches that day?
No. You just got to take the risk.
See, that's exactly my one, but without getting punched back.
Yeah, no, but this is like legal.
So I
and
took
everyone
your
has
idea.
it.
Time is frozen. No one would know I did it. I just get to smack them in the face.
Oscars isn't a superpower. It's just if he was in charge.
Right, I would just make that a
okay.
rule.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Like an edict.
Because I feel like that would curb so much douchebag behavior. Like, oh, I'm an asshole, and every day I stand in the way on the escalator, and every day I get punched by 17 people. Maybe I'll stop standing on the left side of the escalator.
Maybe.
Because it's not just going to be me that punches him. I'm like, you're an asshole. And then there's going to be 10 other people behind me who are like, yep, asshole, using my punch. This guy fucking deserves it.
Just getting a beating.
Yeah, he's getting shit kicked out of him on the way to work. But you know what? He's not standing on the left side of the escalator ever again.
I'm not 100% against your idea. However, I think it's a very slippery slope from there before you start instigating the purge.
I mean...
it does feel like the start of the purge.
It feels quite purgy. It's a bit purgy, guys.
Yeah, I'm not against that. It's not a bad idea.
So, Ian, are you still on board with teleportation, or have you since changed your mind in the many, many weeks since that clip?
It's hard to argue with teleportation. I'll stand by what I said then. You can't argue with that. It's too good.
I'd like time travel thrown in there. I want to be Hiro Nakamura. That's what I want. I've been watching Heroes, guys.
Yeah,
That's what I want.
Well, I guess if you take the modern physics view of space-time being one thing, then the ability to travel through space instantaneously could easily be linked to the ability to travel through time, right? Because it's all one thing.
I've always said that.
And I think that leads me nicely onto the next clip as well, because we've had lots of, like we said before, just weird connections that come out and similarities between us, which is weird. And this one's bizarre. And I would use said power to go back in time and maybe just find out where all the socks are.
I've got a question that I want to ask, though.
Okay.
Of you gents, because it's something that's been really bothering me in my life.
Huh?
And it's not about football whatsoever, so it's good for my speech at the very beginning that I didn't want to talk about football. It's just simply, where does socks go?
It feels like it's going to need its own jingle. Chuck's question. Sorry, what?
Where do socks go? Because I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But do you always find you always lose one sock from like every pair of socks that you own? And then you go to get out a pair of socks and you can't find it, and you think, oh, because sometimes you throw away one sock, but you could definitely throw away two if you see it's next to it, but you never find the socks. And I had it once that I was at my sister's for Christmas, and I got bought a set of 5 socks, and they were Star Wars socks. So this will get you interested, Oscar.
There we go.
There was a C-3PO, an R2-D2, a Yoda, a Stormtrooper, and Darth Vader, right? And they're all pairs, so 5 pairs, 10 socks. By the end of leaving my sister's house, after a couple of days, I only had 7 socks left.
Is your sister stealing the socks?
Well, no, because they weren't anywhere. So I don't understand where does you take them off, you put them in the washing basket, you put them in the washing, you put them in the drawer, and then they're gone.
I mean, you've seen the South Park Underpants Gnomes episode.
Yeah.
What? Step 1, steal underpants. Step 2, question mark. Step 3, profit.
Yeah. Also known as the Movie Pass business model. Step 1, buy everyone's movie tickets. Step 2, question mark shrug. Step 3, profits. Lo and behold, they're like $1 billion in debt and going out of business.
Yeah, didn't our first meeting for this go kind of a similar way? Start a podcast, make money someday. I don't know.
At the minute, we're still in the making a horrendous loss.
We're just in the question mark bit.
Yeah.
Somehow, I think the question mark phase might last quite a long time. But seriously, I want to know: does anyone else have this problem?
No, I mean there is a real answer to this. Most dryers are constructed fairly cheaply, and so it's a very, very common thing that if you take it apart, there's underneath there's this empty space because they need it to be able to spin, and socks are particularly small and easy to go through, basically the secret doorway. And so there's countless videos on the internet of people taking apart a dryer and finding 900 socks in this supposed to be empty compartment. It's actually kind of a fire hazard too. Like I saw a thing about it that was like, well, check your dryers because this might happen. And it's like, that's where all the socks go. Like the answer is that's where they go. They get eaten by your dryer. So if you take apart your dryer, it's probably in there.
Amazing that you'd think to ask the question. Bizarre. Equally amazing that Oscar might actually have an answer, which is just, I mean, ridiculous. So every time you do a dry and you put like 5 pairs of socks in the dryer, your expected socks is about 4.95.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it is. It's ridiculous. I don't understand. And that's why, like, there are 2 things about socks. One, that I now just want to always buy the same sock. Just not a difference in design, not a difference in colour, the exact same sock. So I wouldn't give a shit then what my expected socks were. Just open the drawer, all the same. Perfect. But also, I would like to never have to wear the same pair of socks more than once. I don't care if that's wasteful or not.
That is quite wasteful.
Yeah, but you can like donate them to like people need socks. But like you can buy socks quite cheaply these days. But imagine, you know what the feeling's like when you put on a fresh pair of socks. Now imagine that every single day for the rest of time.
I cannot believe the words that you're saying right now. If I called my wife over right now and I was like, Emily, what is the number 1 item on my trillionaire wish list? We play this game that is like, if you were a trillionaire,
bring her
what's
over.
some
Bring
extravagant
her over.
thing?
Get a guest on. Get her on.
All right.
Get her up to the microphone, Oscar.
Okay. It's exactly what you just said.
Okay.
Exactly what you just said.
Okay. So, Emily, let's test this. This is like Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah.
Like, this will be perfect if we play this game. Emily's going to be a guest on the pod. She's probably not going to be able to hear me for this bit.
That's all right. He's going to take his cans off. We'll be fine. Here we go. This is happening.
This is happening.
Just sit down. They're going to ask you a question. Put the headphones on.
This is weird.
So are we going to ask? Hi, Emily.
Hi.
Talking to the microphone.
Welcome, Emily. So, Emily, we're playing a little bit of Mr. and Mrs. right here because Oscar has made a claim after something that I've said that you would 100% corroborate.
Okay.
So apparently you have a list of things, like a trillionaire's wish list.
Yeah.
What would be Oscar's number 1 thing that he would buy, like a ton of, or like only?
Fresh pair of socks every day.
You win! Unbelievable! 10 points to Hufflepuff.
My
You nailed
God.
To Hufflepuff.
it. Oh no, I've opened a box of worms here.
Shit.
No.
Chuck. Abort.
Don't abort.
Oh, Jesus.
We've got a guest on and I've offended her straight away. But thank you for that, Emily.
Bye.
But there you go. Thank you. Bye.
That was the best. Thank you.
What did he say?
He said 10 points to Hufflepuff.
Did you just call my wife a Hufflepuff? She's so mad at you, Chuck.
Did you call my wife a Hufflepuff?
And there we go.
Chuck, I'm pretty sure that Emily is still mad at you for calling her a Hufflepuff.
Her reaction's so good. Did you just call me a Hufflepuff? She's so furious.
Well, she just needs to calm the hell down and go back to her Hufflepuffy ways.
That is not good, but I really, it is so fucking weird that we have the socks thing in common. It still blows my mind to this day.
It's so weird, and it wasn't even, I can't remember if we said it at the time or not, but, it was me and my brother-in-law, but the same as well, wanting to wear fresh socks every day.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, I've never met anyone else who had this opinion.
No, and that was when I kind of knew. I was like, yes, things will be all right.
That's when I knew.
And that did lead to 10 weeks in a row of getting questions about socks. We even had the jingle. Sock It To Me was a recurring segment on the MOP.
Ah, I love that. It's my favourite bit. As soon as I realised there might be a recurring sock feature, I was like, crack Aretha Franklin out. This is amazing. Sam Danby is always after more sock chat. He's thirsty for the sock chat. He's always tweeting us about socks. He tweeted us a picture just tonight of Norwegian socks. I don't know if you've seen it. But yeah.
No, I have not seen this.
Yeah, he's tweeted us a picture to our. He's DM'd us, I think. He does it all on DM because that sort of stuff you need to keep separate.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there are subreddits for people like that. So,
Exactly.
just send them that way. Speaking of things that should be kept private. This next clip was supposed to be off the record before we had officially started recording.
No.
And,
Once you hit record, buddy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had not yet learned my lesson to not hit record until we're in the actual podcast. We used to just hit record and then talk for like 10 minutes. And we were talking about Chuck's unborn child.
Just play the Pomegranate Clip.
Speaking of which, Chuck, are you comparing your unborn child to sizes of fruit, things like that? Is that still happening?
Are you at pomegranate yet, or?
No, yeah, way past pomegranate. Pomegranate was on the scale.
Oh, I figured that'd only be for boys. Do you get it? It's a penis shape.
A pomegranate?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It's round.
Yeah, I thought you were going because it's full of seeds, but...
No.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I'm thinking of a cucumber.
And there's the intro. Thank you.
And there we are, the perfect advert for obesity in America. Because no one knows what a fruit or vegetable is.
That was the winner of favorite sentence spoken on the pod, right? At the end of season 1 awards, or like the best moment.
You say favourite, I say worst.
I think dumbest.
All of the above, I think.
It received 100% of the votes for it, so I think it was dumbest.
Well, speaking of embarrassing things, this next clip isn't any better, really, for any of us. So just give it a listen. And this is also the origin of us regularly saying heavens to Betsy. So I'll go for embarrassing story. This one time I was recording a podcast and I said pomegranate instead. No.
Can't remember what episode that was now.
Like 2 or 3. It's early on.
Yeah, it was early.
Right away. That's definitely like our longest running joke. No, real answer. So my parents are from Guatemala. I've only been twice ever to visit. One was a few weeks ago, and one was when I was like 14 or 15. We went, and we were at the beach, and there was this truck, and I was like, oh, it's like a food truck. And they were like, no. You're in a third world country. Don't do that. And I was like, no. It's like a food truck. I want some chicken. So I went, and I got a bunch of fried chicken for like everybody. I was like, we're going to have this bucket. We're going to share it. It's going to be great. Everyone else was like, no, I'm not eating that. And I was like, great, fuckers, more for me. Fast forward to like 5 hours later, we're driving home from the beach, and we're crossing a river on a bridge. We're like on this narrow bridge, but there was nowhere to pull over. And I'm like, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw up right now. We need to pull over. And my dad, who was the one driving, was like, there's nowhere to pull over. You just got to throw up out the window. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'm doing this. So I roll down the window, and I stick my head out of the side, and I'm just projectile vomiting off the side of this bridge. And as we finish crossing the bridge, I look back, and I realize that under the bridge, because we're in a third world country, was a shanty town.
Oh, God.
Where, like, the poorest of poor people in an already poor country live in these, like, barely put together huts. And this asshole American just comes in and just rains
Vomits chicken that he's paid for.
And like, I've never, like, to this day, that is, I think, the thing that I'm the most ashamed of, is that, like, I went to a third world country and I just vomited all over very, very poor people whose lives are already horrible. So that's definitely my shameful, horrible story that I wish I could erase.
I don't know whether that's a more scathing indictment of Americans actually going abroad, or just the food preparation practices of Guatemala.
Well, I can't resist some fried chicken. I think that was the dumb part on my part. Like, that's like, I should have known. I was old enough to know better, but I did it anyway. And they paid the price.
They paid
Truth.
the price.
Well, I have a similar story, but out the other end, as was required. God, this must be about 6 years ago now. And when I was living in North London, and it was in the middle of summer, and it was quite a nice day. And so I woke up early and I thought, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to have a nice day. I'm going to go to the supermarket. I'm going to get like a few bits and pieces. I'm going to go to the park. I'm going to read my book and just enjoy it for a few hours before I have to go to work.
Lovely.
Quite nice. Yes, why not? Can't remember what the book was, so clearly it wasn't that good. So I go to the supermarket, get all my bits and pieces, and blah, 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 blah. go to the park and start sitting there and just start reading my book, getting out pieces of bread and putting like these little like dairy leaf slices and ham and just kind of making little sandwiches as I go. Num, 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 num.
High class picnic. Carry on.
Yeah, but I'm in North London, mate. Fucking come on. So I'm sitting in the park, and so it gets to a couple of hours later, and I go, okay, well, time to go. So I pack up all my things and start walking around the corner to the bus stop and get on the bus, which is going to take me from the Seven Sisters area into central London. Now, I don't know if anybody else has this, but sometimes when you spend a day out in the sun, sometimes you feel like you might need a poo. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it is just me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on this bus and sitting on the top deck, and I just think, oh, actually, maybe I should have gone to the toilet. Oh, well, it's okay. It's only about a half an hour bus ride. I can hold that.
Of course.
2 minutes later, it feels like the gates of hell are going to open and spill forth from my trousers.
Oh, dear.
Now, I'm sitting on this bus, which is going over speed bumps, going round corners. It's a boiling hot day. Meanwhile, I'm sitting in the chair, and it's so hard to hold it in. I have my hands on both sides of the chair and have my hips thrust forward. So I'm no longer sitting in the chair, but just kind of straight across the top back of the chair, the edge of the seat down to the floor, just thinking, oh God, please don't shit yourself on a fucking bus in North London at 4:00 in the afternoon.
I mean, if you are going to shit yourself, a public bus is the way to go.
Yeah, and to be honest, it wouldn't have been the weirdest thing that happened in that area that day. So,
Still.
meanwhile, as I know the bus route, I think to myself, fuck, where can I go? Going past all these little shops and kebab places where I'm like, right, they're not going to have a toilet. Then I think to myself, 2 bus stops time, there's a McDonald's. Great, I can go in there.
Result.
Bus stops at both of the other stops, and I'm still in this position just going, oh my God, and it's gurgling, it feels like it's going to spill forth. Eventually managed to get off the bus, doing the need to poo walk down the stairs, like sucking your ass in, like just kind of waddling, and I'm sure I made the noise, going down this high street, because it wasn't just get off the bus and go straight in McDonald's. It was get off the bus, walk for about 2-3 minutes along a busy main road to then get to this big drive-through McDonald's. Yes, it also had a drive-through.
Did you partake of the drive-through?
Funnily enough, no. Did a drive-by. I managed to make it running, well, a vodka pass for running, all the way to this McDonald's and get in. And as I'm just about to go into the men's toilet, this really old man goes in with his walking stick. And so I'm just kind of stuck behind him like, I can't get past, I can't do it. And he goes into the men's toilet and uses the one
only
cubicle.
Oh my God.
Locks the door, and I just think, fuck. I look around, see if there's another cubicle hidden somewhere. Maybe there's like a fake wall or something, but there's just 2 urinals. And I think the way this is going to go, it will go through that hole, but fuck me, it will hit everywhere else.
It's not the floor though, is it?
Nope. So came out of the men's toilet and saw there was a disabled toilet, but it's one of those ones that's permanently locked, and you have to ask at the front desk if you can have the key.
Jesus Christ.
There was no time for this. We were full on danger close. I went straight for the women's toilet.
Yes.
Straight through the front door into the cubicle. No sooner had my trousers come off of my ass that it just thundered out of me. Audibly, hugely.
We call that battle shits over here.
Oh, dude, Jesus Christ. This was fucking Hiroshima shits. Like, it was that bad. And I hear like a few women talking like different cubicles. Luckily, there was no one like outside a cubicle at the time.
Yes.
And I'm trying as hard as possible not to make any discerningly manly noise.
Oh, excuse me.
Just like,
Oh my!
Just passing out of me.
Heavens
And
to
it just
Betsy!
kept going. Oh, good gracious.
Sorry, I'm in full wheeze mode there. Sorry. Heavens
That's
to
so-
Betsy.
So I'm sitting there, and thank God there was toilet paper in there, because fuck me, I've had the opposite happen far too many times.
Oh, yeah.
Always,
Oh,
always
Jesus.
check before you drop, guys. Always check. So after
life
this has gone
lessons.
on for about a good 5-10 minutes, it then gets to the point where there's now women outside, like just in the toilet in general, like washing their hands.
Bloody
and
women.
every time one leaves, a new one seems to come in. And I just think, I can't leave now. Like I can't. I've just done this
yes, you
horrendous shit where I've heard people talking. I can't do it. So I then sat there for about another 15 minutes, just kind of checking my watch, going like,
No. You just walk out. All right, girls. And just fuck off out there.
Yeah. It's definitely weirder that
Eventually-
you were just sitting in the women's toilet, like listening to them. That's so much worse.
yeah.
Oh,
But-
Jesus.
Eventually, I realised that there was a break in the room, and just thought, fuck it, I need to go. So barreled straight out of the room, didn't wash my hands, went out, and because hygienic, went in the men's toilet to wash my hands, because he's a thinker. And then thought, well, as I left, I thought, well, don't want to be that guy that just goes into somewhere and shits everywhere. So went and bought myself a McFlurry so I wouldn't be too suspicious, and enjoyed a nice ice cream as I then
I
travelled to
think
work.
you'd just had a McFlurry. Fucking hell.
And that is one of the worst situations of my life, that if I could go back and change, I would not go to the dodgy little supermarket that I went to in North London.
Yeah. I'd
And-
be so stressed that would take years off my already short life. That sounds fucking horrendous.
Worst day of my life.
Well, the other story I chose not to tell is very much along the same lines, and just it ends with a tree stump. That's just I'll leave that mystery
Let's
there for
save
some
that
later
for another
date.
time.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
God.
Stimmers, you have to tell a story about peeing yourself now, because we got vomit and we got poop. So
Yeah, no, I don't. Okay, yeah. As a kid, this is very short, but as a how old would I have been? I would have been 6, and I was a bolshy little shit back then. And
Back then.
yeah, back then. And I probably would have been diagnosed with ADHD, but that wasn't a thing back then. I was just a little shit. So it was the teacher wouldn't let me go to the toilet because it had just been break time. So I deliberately pissed myself because I was just like, I'm not having that. Even at 6, I mean, that's just a ridiculous thing to think. I'm not having that, so I'm going to sabotage myself for the rest of the day and piss myself. Is that some sort of revenge? I don't understand what. Another one was when I was about 4 or 5. We were having a picnic, and it was somewhere in the Pennines. Lovely. And my mum, I said I needed a toilet. My mum said, "Oh, just go in that bush over there." I went over, got my knob out, started to have a wee, and then somehow tripped or something and fell into this bush with my knob out, and it was stinging nettles. She hadn't she hadn't seen what it was. "Oh, just go over there and have a wee. It's fine. No one's around." And I fell fucking head and knob first into these stinging nettles, and was bawling my eyes out immediately. And then some fucking park ranger or something was coming round, and I'm
Went and rubbed the dock leaf on your dick.
no, but said something about, "Oh, well, if you take if it's in flour, you can take the flour out, and that's better than a dock leaf," and rub that around. And I'm like, even at that age, I'm like, "So I'll do it." Get the fuck away from me. And it's just, oh yeah, that was awful. As an adult, embarrassing stories.
As an adult, you let him rub the flour on your dick.
As an adult, I went back and said, "All right, mate, where's these flowers?" But as an adult, probably one of the worst ones was. So I used to work at Sky, and I would always stay over. So obviously, I live in Peterborough, but I work in London, and I'd stay over on a Friday night all the time in a very low budget. It was a travel lodge, but Oscar won't know what a travel lodge is. But it's
we have travel lodge.
you have travel lodge. I didn't know it was
Yeah.
international. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry about But yeah, I'd stay in one of them every Friday night, and I'd always try and eat at work before I went there. So I grabbed a pizza from work, but the Travelodge was only like down the road, so I saved it, took it to the hotel room, and I got into my hotel room. I ate my pizza, and it's a big pizza. I immediately needed a shit, and so I went into the toilet, and even though I was in the hotel room on my own, I still sort of closed the door, and I don't know, did I lock it? I don't know, but I closed the door, and I go to look in the toilet, and it's fucking horrific. Like someone's it looks like someone's been sick on top of their shit. It's fucking like it was just a fucking car crash, and I'm like, great, okay, this room's not been cleaned. So I go. Yeah, that's the
I'm going to write a strongly worded letter to the concierge.
If I can find the fucker. So I go to get out of the bathroom. I touch the sort of handle, and it comes off in my hand, and like I cannot get out of the room because I've got the handle just come off in my hand. So I'm left with someone else's shit, sick, whatever, in this tiny little bath, and I can't. So it takes me about 2 minutes to sort of jimmy the handle back in so as I can get out of the room. So I get out of the room, and I sort of grab my bag, and I go down to reception, and I say, look, my room's obviously not been cleaned. There's something really dodgy in the toilet. And by the way, the handle of your toilet came off in my hand while I was there. And I sort of put the handle on the desk. They seemed to find it quite amusing. I brought the handle down with me, but it was still in my hand. So I just sort of like put it down on the desk. There's the handle. So, I'm really sorry. Some of the rooms are being renovated. We weren't sure which ones had been cleaned. Sorry, really sorry, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, like I'm trying to sort of, trying to be authoritative and sort of say, I need a new room. Right, okay, fine, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We'll get you a new room. Okay, fine. Get a new room. Go into the bathroom, sort of like look in the mirror. I've got a massive bit of chicken still on my face from the pizza that I'd eaten. And like, I've gone down to reception and tried to like really be, this is not acceptable, blah, blah. And I've got a fucking whole chicken basically on the side of my face. And they didn't mention it once or whatever. And I'm like putting the fucking handle down going, this is not acceptable. But it was, I felt like a right twat after that because I was just chicken and pizza sauce smeared over my face.
That's awesome. I was fully expecting the ending of that story to be that you heard giggling from in the shower and someone goes, heavens to Betsy. And then Chuck pops out and is like, surprise, bitch, I shit in your room.
I'm just like, Oscar, why are you pretending to be a lady in my shower? Heavens to Betsy.
Yeah, so there we go. Some lovely memories being brought back there.
Heartfelt stories there. We struggled to tell some of those.
Yeah, my bowels still quiver at the thought of it.
He's never ridden the 92 bus again.
But that just goes to show that a lot of what we do is mostly piggybacking off of the effort of you guys, because it's fantastic that all of you get in touch and take us into all kinds of different weird directions. We, as a consequence of the previous stories, we kind of put out a call to arms on just on Twitter if anyone wanted to get in touch with their embarrassing stories. And one person actually did. We're going to proceed this with, of course, a Dave Mateo question as well, to lead us in to the wondrous place of Emu Plains.
And we've obviously got one from Dave Mateo, whatever. So he said, this week, Football Federation Australia, doesn't sound like a real thing, carry on, talked about having songs during stoppages during the match. If you were a player, what song would you have when you got subbed on?
Oh, fuck, that is good.
I mean, do you think they're going to be allowed to choose their theme music as they come on? I mean, that would be amazing.
Is this just Australia's way of getting more people to watch it? And are they going to go for a football wrestling hybrid where every player makes an entrance like the fucking WWE?
It'll be like the
because
Royal
if that's
Rumble.
the case, yeah, if that's the case, I'm coming into either Stone Cold's opening music or I'm going full sexy Shawn Michaels. Like
Nice.
that's what I'm coming into with the pyrotechnics and the poses, the whole
time.
fucking shebang.
If you smell what the Chuck is cooking.
Yes. Anything like that. Like, that would
Yeah.
be fucking epic.
Yeah. In American sports, they do that in baseball specifically because there's so many like weird stops when players are going to come in. So
Yeah.
when relief pitchers and when relief pitchers and specifically the closer comes in, they have the same song every time. And notably, one of the most notable examples of that was Mariano Rivera on the Yankees, who's the greatest ever relief pitcher of all time, would come in to Enter Sandman. And so they would turn down the lights in the stadium, not all the way, but like some of them.
Yeah.
And then you would just hear the drums of the Metallica song. Dun, 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 and you knew that like he was going to come out, and they would play like the full long intro. Dun, 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 dun,
Jesus
dun.
Christ.
And then he would burst out of the bullpen just like the WWF and like run to the pitching mound, and the whole stadium would go wild because he's one of the most popular Yankees of all time and one of the best Yankees of all time.
That sounds properly dramatic.
It sounds properly dramatic until you realise, like, baseball is, like, on a par with cricket for how intense it is. Because imagine that happening at the cricket and then just someone just steps in the crease and goes, like, is this middle umpire?
Yeah.
Is this...
Am
is this
I on silly mid-on? Yeah.
Am I on silly? Yeah, okay. And so it's just kind of a bit of an anticlimax.
Yeah.
Although, unless you're absolutely fucking railed like you get at the baseball.
Yeah, well, the closers always come on in like the 9th inning, so everyone is super drunk by the time he comes out. Ian, what's your answer?
The rapper E40, I'm happy to be here.
Nice, okay. Getting meta with it, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's it.
Mine would definitely be Careless Whisper by George Michael, because I love a sexy saxophone.
I was going to say, would you dress up as the sexy sax man and come on,
Oh,
like,
yeah, absolutely,
miming it,
yeah.
doing your hip thrusts and...
I was about to try to do the tune, but with my voice, I think it would just completely go away. I was going to be like...
Oh, God.
Have you seen the YouTube videos of that guy that just bursts into completely inappropriate?
Yeah.
That's what we're
The
talking about.
sexy
Sexy
sax man.
sax
The
guy.
sexy sax man. He's
that what
fucking
he's called,
amazing.
is it?
When he's in
Yeah.
shopping malls, going through the food court.
Yeah.
He stands on top of a checkout in a
That is
supermarket.
amazing.
Yep.
He breaks into a lecture hall
That's
at
my
like a
favourite one.
university.
That's my favourite one. He just goes into the top of a lecture hall, just apropos of nothing, and smashes that solo. It's so good.
Ever since that video came out, I had been begging my wife, actually just girlfriend at the time, you got to buy me a saxophone. You got to buy me a saxophone. I want a saxophone for Christmas. I want it for my birthday. Like 4 years later, she finally gets it for me for Christmas, and I've played it like twice ever. She's so
Right.
mad.
By the end of the season, I want to hear that solo.
Okay, all right.
Challenged.
Yeah, I want to hear you
Absolutely.
playing us out with that solo.
I can play it right now. Hold on, let me pull it up on my phone.
No,
No.
I want it
No.
live.
You live. And that's the one time where we're going to live stream the Skype record as well.
Yeah,
So everyone can see
yeah.
you doing it in your pants. And I want you to grow a mustache just like that guy.
And I'm going to fly over and mic it up properly because there's no other way to do it. So I've got to do that.
I'll tell you what, if we ever do a live show, I will try unsuccessfully to
that'd be
play that in front of
amazing.
everybody.
Yeah.
Guys, no one's paying to see this.
Yeah, well, you know,
Chuck,
our 10 listeners might.
Chuck, don't kill the dream. I'll play guitar. You sing. We're laughing. It's happening.
If we launch a Patreon, that'll be the highest level of subscription is I will.
Oscar will, no, at some point within a 6-month period, Oscar will appear at your place of work playing the sexy sax man and won't tell you when. You'll never know. He'll just come into the middle of the biggest meeting of your life and just bust out.
Oh, man. I'm going to be a high-level Patreon of my own podcast because I desperately want that. I desperately want that.
Any more questions, Ian?
No more questions, but guys, we've got an email.
Hold the fucking phone. What? We have an electronic mail?
An electronic mail. I checked the PO box. There was nothing in that.
Okay, fair enough.
We've got an electronic mail, and it goes beyond the usual 280 characters that you can have on Twitter, and it's a toilet story.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
We didn't even... Did we ask for toilet stories?
I sort of jokingly put it in the tweet, and then Darren Anthony Hoy came through. He came through.
Would this be the point where you start to get into the email and goes, I'd prefer to remain anonymous for this, lads?
I specifically emailed him back and said, can I use your name? Even though he signed it, I thought I'd better ask. But now, I'm not going to embellish this at all, because he paints a picture with words. I am going to do this verbatim. It's delightfully written. So, he obviously lives in Australia, so I presume he knows Dave Mateo. I mean, it's only a little place, isn't it? So he must.
That's
know
how it
Dave.
works, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they were all in Lord of the Rings, so they all know each other.
New Zealand, but fine.
Same shit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all the same. And if you believe the flat earthers, it doesn't even exist. So
No.
it's fine. Darren, I feel like I might put a bed underneath this bit of music.
I think we should put a bit of background music on.
Okay, I'll knock something up and we'll put something underneath it. Walking home from school in Emu Plains, Australia, brackets 11 years old at the time, I felt volcanic percolation. If that isn't a word, it should be. I ran faster than Gareth Bale to the Nepean River to wash off the lactose intolerant from my legs and underpants. Lactose intolerance as a noun. Afterwards, my relief was only short-lived as I climbed the bank of the river and it erupted again. This time my horror was amplified as the town's cool gang was heading towards me on their bikes. How could I possibly hide the smell and colour of my right leg, which was completely covered in something that resembled Willy Wonka's chocolate river? Somehow I pulled it off, I think, only to get home and see my mother run outside with facial expressions resembling someone who'd just left Ryan Fraser on their bench in game week 5. Nice little FPL reference there. She powered up the hose, full pelt, and blasted me clean in the front yard. Humiliation complete.
Wow.
There's a lot to unpack there.
He got given the prison treatment by his own mother.
Yeah. Just blasting off the shit with a garden hose in the front garden.
Stay outside, you little fucker. I'll get you in a hose.
Is that supposed to be an Australian accent?
Go on, give us your attempt.
No.
Without mentioning shrimp on Barbies. There you go. Wow, thank you. Thanks for sharing that, Darren. That's
nice.
great. I'm so happy that someone else jumped off the cliff with us with embarrassing stories.
This is a safe space. We are always saying that. So
Absolutely. Well, it's because not that many people listen, so it's fine.
Yeah, but it was nice to receive something a bit meatier than your usual very short tweet. It was good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Meteor, let's not use meteor to describe that.
Maybe
story.
not, yeah.
Gross. My favorite part of it is that he was somewhere called Emu Plains.
Yeah, I glossed over that, but yeah.
Yeah, gotta love that. Is that next to ostrich farms and alpaca fields?
Yeah. You were really struggling to get there, Oscar, but well done.
Couldn't think of another flightless bird and just going, alpaca?
I was glossing over everything until I got to Willy Wonka's Chocolate River. That was basically what I was aiming to get to. But thank you, Darren. That was something to behold. I really enjoyed reading that.
That was much appreciated.
It really is, yeah.
Now, do we think that's actually Dave Mateo just using a fake name?
Now, that thought had crossed my mind.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
That thought had crossed my mind.
Oh, man. So remind me never to go to Emu Plains.
No.
Just don't swim in the river.
Yeah. Well, that does tie in thematically with the next one, which will have much to do with poop as well, as you'll see when you get to the clip, because I am very lactose intolerant, And keep that in mind as you go through this next story.
Why did you do this? Nothing makes sense about this story.
I forgot your lactose.
Oh, jeez.
I think I broke Chuck.
Is Queen Banger. And she heard us discussing her name on the pod last week. And I think that inspired...
Oh, what, we said Queen of Sausages.
Exactly.
Was it Queen of Sausages? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what we said.
Yeah, that's what we landed on. Yeah. So she asks, in a sausage eating competition, who would be the winner? Chuck, Ian, or Oscar? So I like a sausage. That's
Who doesn't like a
that's
sausage?
written on a lot of toilet walls.
Yep.
But where do we stand on an eating competition, guys?
Can I substitute hot dogs since I'm American? Is that okay?
Yeah.
I mean, it
think
counts
so.
as a sausage. Like,
Yeah.
It's the lowest form of sausage, but
if we're going to allow like Richmond's as sausages over here, like,
I mean, yeah, I don't, but carry on.
yeah, American hot dog vendors, that counts. I don't know. I could eat a lot of sausage.
but
Whichever way you dress this is going to be set up, so we may as well just power through, gents.
Yeah.
I could fit a lot of sausage inside me. That's all I'm saying.
Well, actually, I have been in a hot dog eating competition before. Gentlemen.
Fantastic.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, I mean, no. I'm American, so everyone has to at some point. It's like a
you are
military
fulfilling
conscription.
every stereotype there.
Yeah, absolutely. In South Korea, they have to go in the military. Here, we have to do a hot dog eating competition.
I was just about to say you didn't win the Asian Games, which meant even though Chelsea won the Asia Trophy, you still had to do your mandatory competitive eating service.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I had a phase in college.
It's a phase now. Hang on. This went from one-off to a phase.
Yeah. I want to say like 2006 to 2008 or thereabouts. I would periodically enter eating competitions. I made my way through a lot of sausages that year.
Wow.
No, I would. I did eat competitively for a little while, like on the side.
On the side.
Yeah, I mean, I was a full-time student, so it was a side job.
Yeah. So, what was there a training program? What?
No, I mean there was like strategies and stuff.
Some people
that,
have just got talent, haven't they? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I did take down 12 hot dogs in 5 minutes once.
12 in 5 minutes,
which is really not that much at all, like compared to people who are serious about competitive eating. But it's a whole lot of hot dogs.
Yeah,
still.
That's quite a lot with bread.
It's a lot of bread, yeah.
Yeah, with bread and ketchup.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of bread.
But that wasn't. I wasn't actually good at hot dogs. I was good at pizza and ice cream. Were my two sports, I guess.
I mean, ice cream questions. The big problem is brain freeze.
Yeah, how'd you get over that?
Well, that's actually my favorite eating story. If we're getting into this,
it seems we are.
And yeah, we clearly are. There was an ice cream eating competition for groups of 4. And so me and a bunch of friends entered this competition, and I show up to the competition, and my lazy idiot college friends.
He brought his big spoon.
Yeah, I had my big spoon, a big wooden spoon, ready to go. My fucking asshole friends didn't show up, so I'm there by myself in a cafeteria type room, like a big hall with a bunch of picnic tables set up with buckets and groups of 4 people sitting around those buckets.
Yeah.
And I'm by myself at one of the tables because I was like, I'm not fucking backing down from this competition. You bet your ass I'm competing.
Meanwhile, also thinking, oh, I wish I had some friends.
Yeah, exactly. I came in second place. Long story short.
Fucking hell. Out of how many?
I don't know, like 20 teams.
20?
Thereabouts. It wasn't like a huge thing.
20?
Yeah. Against teams of 4, I came in second place.
Wait, hang on. First of all, that is fucking impressive. Second of all, the fact that 20 teams of 4 is not a big eating competition. All I've ever seen are those panels of like 5 or 6 people.
Yeah.
That are just
but that's the
for
finals, man. You didn't see the preliminary rounds to get into that.
Okay.
On TV, like the Nathan's hot dog on 4th of July.
I'm sorry, hang on. Again, on TV?
Yeah. Oh, do you guys not know that? every year on the 4th of July, there's a hot dog eating competition on television. They do it at Coney Island where the hot dog was invented. And there's like these two guys, Joey Chestnut, who's the American. His name is Joey Chestnut. Yeah. And some Japanese guy.
Kobayashi. Is it Kobayashi?
Yes. Yeah. Kobayashi.
I fucking love that guy.
They put down like 100 hot dogs. It's not literally 100, but I want to know what the record is actually. So Joey Chestnut. Hold on to Google. But anyway, to go back to the ice cream while I Google this. So they would just come around every 10 minutes and drop a new, like, quart or pint or whatever of ice cream in the bucket.
Yeah.
And you would have 10 minutes to try to eat as much of it as you could. And then they would just keep coming around. And it was a different flavor every time.
I was just going to say, what flavors are we talking?
Everything. Chunky chocolate chip and mint and vanilla and cookies and cream. Everything you can imagine.
Okay.
And my strategy, the way I got second place in this competition,
yeah.
because I was strategic about it, going up in a handicap against teams of 4,
yeah,
was to just...
I think they're the ones that were fucking handicapped by the sound of it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I would just stir with my wooden spoon for like the full 9.5 minutes and then chug the soup of liquid melted ice cream. But by the end, it was just like so disgusting because it was every flavor just melted and churned like butter.
Ugh.
And I was just drinking it, and I got so sick I had to take like 2 days off after that. But I got like a $250 gift card.
To Baskin Robbins.
Yeah, no, God.
Oh, God, could you imagine?
Jesus Christ. So, I mean, how is type 2 diabetes working out for you?
Really good, really good. I got a fake left foot.
Yeah.
Okay, Joey Chestnut.
On the benefit side, his shoes are all half price.
Well, quite. Yeah.
Do you want to hear Joey Chestnut's most horrifying eating records? Because
I've never wanted to hear anything more in my life.
Has he ever competitively eaten chestnuts?
I don't believe so. No, but he does have the world record for deep fried asparagus.
What?
Because that is a thing. He has the world record in deep fried asparagus. Listen to this. He ate 12 pounds and 9 ounces of deep fried asparagus in 10 minutes.
His piss must still smell now. What the fuck is that?
That is 23,000 calories of asparagus in 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah, his hot dog record is 74 hot dogs with buns in 10 minutes. Which is, this article's great. That is equivalent to 30 slices of strawberry cheesecake.
Why do you need that equivalence?
I don't know.
And because, of course, a slice is a standardized unit of measurement.
Slice.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been so surprised at so many bits of a story. It was like, nobody turned up for this competitive eating competition, so I did it on my own. Of course, why wouldn't you? Why instead of just going home? Why wouldn't you just take part, even though it's against teams of 4? And then you were like, oh no, it wasn't a big competition. There were just like, I don't know, 20 teams.
20 teams of 4.
Just the whole thing was unbelievable. And I played it, but I was looking through these clips and stuff and was playing it, and Finley was listening. And when you were talking about spending, so you had 10 minutes or something on each.
They just kept coming around dropping more ice cream in the bucket.
And how you said you were spending 9.5 minutes just whipping it into an ice cream sludge. And even Finley was just like, when he talked about the amount of different flavours, and was just like, oh, I don't think I could do that. You're 9 years old. You're supposed to mainline ice cream. What the fuck are you talking about? But even he was just like, no, I don't think I could do that.
All right, well, so you're doing a good job raising your boy then.
Daddy, please don't. Please don't, Daddy. Don't make me eat the milkshakes.
Yeah, that was not a good day. Bad decisions when you're a teenager, you know? A lot of bad decisions. But I did get a gift card out of it, so...
Yeah, I think that's pretty great. I'd like to have been around for that Oscar.
I mean, he's not that far off.
I don't know. The fact that it seems like you've mellowed over the years is quite astounding. So
yeah, and you've seen what I can take down. We've gone out to eat a few times, both in New York and in London.
What I can take down? Why do you see food as like a competitive thing? You've seen what I can take down. Just fucking Just enjoy your food. It doesn't have to be like me versus this fucking meal. Why does it have to be like that?
Again, what is this enjoy of which you speak? I don't understand.
Yeah, okay.
Does not compute. Beep, beep, boop.
Yeah.
Because I'm the sad stats robot, remember?
I guess so.
Oh, man. Well, so that one was a bit of a... Actually, I guess most of the clips have been pretty lighthearted, pretty fun, but from time to time, we do get a little bit more somber, a little bit more serious when the sort of situation requires. And this next clip is one that we got a ton of feedback on. I think probably one of the things that most listeners have responded to in our entire run. And it is, a serious issue and something that we hold very dear to our hearts. I especially, as you'll hear in a second, hold very dear to my heart. And it was a message that we wanted to get back out there for any newer listeners because it is, again, something that we really value a lot. And, we will from time to time sort of take it to a more somber place. So without further ado, here's a more sort of serious moment from the history of the pod. All right, well, as we wind down, we did want to bring in a slightly more serious topic to close out the episode. Chuck, do you want to kind of bring us into this because you're the one that has the most experience with the documentary?
Yeah, so we've received quite a few really lovely messages recently from different listeners, just kind of thanking us for helping them out with some hard times or just something to listen to while they deal with, life, etc. And I know it can be quite tough for everyone out there. And there's been a fantastic documentary that came out. I believe it aired after the FA Cup final, which is called The Royal Team Talk, which is made by BBC, and it's His Royal Highness the Duke of Cambridge. He started a mental health initiative to do with football and mostly to do with men. And he's done a documentary which features Peter Crouch, Thierry Henry, Jermaine Genius, Gareth Southgate, and Danny Rose, and just being really open and honest about issues with mental health. Very, very good and really insightful and interesting to hear these guys speak so candidly about something that I think us as men never really talk about. Just, we're always told to put on a face and, to be in touch with your emotions, albeit less so these days, but is not the thing to be for a man. So I think it's absolutely fantastic. They say in it as well, it's, suicide is unfortunately still the biggest killer in men in the UK under 45. And that's quite shocking for me. So just to know, for obviously their position of being big names and having their influence, but for me personally to know that we're having an impact on just one or two people's lives somewhere was like really kind of touched me, and made me feel really appreciative for those guys.
100%. I mean, if this nonsense can cause any distraction at all and cause any entertainment, then that's amazing. I mean, genuinely amazing. And the documentary was great. I mean, the people involved were people that you wouldn't necessarily assume would have any sort of mental health issues, like Peter Crouch. I mean, it just comes across as, really always having a good time, always funny. It was just like all of them were really honest about any issues they had. And it was great. And that it just normalizes that conversation of it's okay not to be okay. And like you say, Chuck, I mean, yeah, just to hear that, like this silly thing that we do might have cheered someone up is just unbelievable.
I think, Ian, you hit the nail on the head perfectly there. It's not the way it is in movies in real life. Like you will be surprised by what sort of people are going through things, even when they're out and about and like powering through and making it through the day. Like, yes, the worst cases of it, you sort of fall away pretty severely and pretty completely. But like even within that, so this is an issue that's very near to my heart because I have struggled with depression, clinical depression, for years and years, like since I was a teenager, on and off. And it gets better, it gets worse. And I don't really talk about it for the reasons that we kind of stated. Like, it's a very taboo thing, and I think it makes other people uncomfortable if they can't particularly relate to it. But I do think that like it's important to talk about. This has never really been the forum because we just kind of try to keep it lighthearted and stuff, which I think is part of why that connects with our listeners, is that like it's nice to have that positivity and just like silliness in your life.
Yeah, like escapism, definitely. I can definitely relate to
But
that.
this is something that I have like really aggressively struggled with throughout my adult life, to the point where like I had a semester in college where I didn't leave my dorm room for like 2 weeks,
Okay.
and I had to drop out of all my classes and just double up for the semesters after that to make up the difference. Like I just dropped all my classes, and I just couldn't get the motivation to sort of get out of bed, and that's like the worst times of it. But even within that, like, you can still get out there and sort of fake your day and fake your way through it.
Yeah.
Like I've had days where I couldn't quite get the energy to get myself in the shower because little things can become very, very difficult in times of that sort of depression taking over. And so I would just throw on like jeans and a hoodie over my pajamas
Yeah.
because I couldn't bring myself to like have the energy to go through my morning routine, but I knew that I still had to like get outside. And then when I'm out there and like you fake it and you just go through your day, like I would imagine that a lot of people who've known me for a long time would be surprised to learn how much I've struggled with it. And so I just, from a like very heartfelt personal place, want to say that like if there are listeners out there who are having difficult times and finding it hard to just get out there, just take the little victories.
Yeah.
Like from a sort of objective perspective, I think that sounds pretty shocking for a lot of people to hear, like, wow, you can't even get yourself in the shower, things must be really bad. But from my perspective of it, it's like, well, no, but I was still able to like get out and fake it well enough that people didn't quite know that I was wearing my pajamas underneath. Like, and so, you know, we're here with you. I think we try to do a good job of interacting with our listeners a lot. And we joke around and sort of like with Adam, call him the human punching bag and put him down. And we kind of play up the whole like we're assholes bit. But we do care about all of you, and we are here for all of you. You can always reach out to us. And even if it's just something as simple as like, hey, thanks, you guys made me laugh. Like, we love to hear that. And you're not alone. You're not alone, and it's okay to talk about it, and it's okay to be who you are. And you should never feel ashamed of that, and you should never feel like it makes you weak or anything, because just being here, being out, or just like whatever level of thing that you can get yourself to do when you're in your darkest places is still a thing. And so you should always take the strength, not the darkness. And it can be really hard to like believe that deep down when you're in those moments, but just know you're not alone. We're here. People are here. And I think it's really important for people that you otherwise wouldn't expect, like Peter Crouch, to say like, oh yeah, no, me too. Like it's just a part of life for a lot of us. So the documentary was good, and I figured this would be a good time for me to sort of open up a bit more about my own experiences of it. But if any of you are ever out there, you can just message me on Twitter, and I'm happy to just have a conversation with you. Or just make fart jokes. Like, you know, sometimes that's all you need is like someone to tell a dick joke at you, and then that's it.
Yeah, exactly. As Oscar said, you know, you're welcome to send us an email, Twitter, Facebook. In this age of social media, it can be harder being on there because, you know, everyone's external image is a bit of a construct and somewhat of a facade that sometimes you think, oh, it's only me. It's never just you on your own. It's, you know, everyone's dealing with their own shit, and it's how other people can help each other is what makes the world a better place. And, you know, the fact that we've brightened a few people's days is incredible. So thank you all.
Yeah, every so often we can manage to take on some serious stuff as something that affects a lot of us. And as Oscar said, preceding this, we had a ton of people get in touch with us, which we just want to bring to the fore once again, because it's, you know, it happens to a lot more people than you would think. And we appreciate the fact that, I appreciate the fact not only that Oscar could talk so candidly about that kind of stuff, but also that you guys would get in touch and kind of just air some things out that maybe you wanted to, and it's, you know, it's okay to talk, and we welcome anyone to do that.
Yeah, and it's, you know, like they say, it's okay to not be okay.
Exactly. Speaking of, though, not being okay, it leads us in
This
to
is my favourite.
our final clip.
Num, 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 num.
It was kind of inevitable, really, and the fact that it happened after only 5 episodes
We couldn't have scripted it better. Come on, England won a fucking penalty shootout.
England had just won a penalty shootout, and this was about, well, at this point, God knows how long it was after it. I think we started recording about 5 minutes after the penalty.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd been drinking all night, but you were on another level. I mean, so you had you were recording with a bottle of what we called the Lithuanian equivalent of Jägermeister.
Well, no, so fuck. Yeah.
And this was back in the days when recording was like 3.5 hours long because we had not found anything like a rhythm yet. So it's like dude has just been pounding drinks for hours.
Of course, I've been pounding beers during the football because like you needed it to get through it. And I think I had a couple of beers through the first half, like the first half of the pod, and then realised I had no more booze left. So started drinking spirits and drank like half a bottle.
Half a bottle, please.
No, it was half a bottle. I saw the aftermath. I still haven't touched the shit since. My kidneys still quiver. The cat still looks at me in a feared way if I go near it. And yeah, it astounds me. Absolutely astounds me because, like, I sound drunk, of course, but I know how fucking drunk I was and do not remember, like, 80% of what was said.
Yeah, claiming to have invented Twix.
There is so much. So I didn't claim I invented it.
Save it.
Yeah.
Just
roll the clip. I'll do the standard Dave Matteo question that we have to do every week. He's just gone for what's your favourite...
Davey!
He's gone for what's your favourite chocolate bar?
Oh, now this is going to be tough because we don't have the same chocolate bars in America that you guys do.
Exactly.
No, but English chocolate smashes American chocolate because American chocolate is dog shit and chemical.
I can't say I disagree. I'm not a big chocolate person, to be honest. I much prefer like gummy candies, chewy stuff, fruit flavored. But when I am gonna have a chocolate snack, I usually go for a Kit Kat. Do you guys have Kit Kat over there?
Do we have Kit Kat?
You do have Kit Kat. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
Kit Kat or
Twix.
Twix. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go with Twix, but left Twix specifically, because if you are a right Twix person, you can go fuck yourself. I am sorry, but only left Twix is the only one that you're allowed to eat.
Okay, so we'll go for Twix. Well, funnily enough, I'll have to check with my sister on this. My great-granddad worked for Cadbury at the time that Twix was invented and is the person that created the Twix.
Your family member invented Twix.
Apparently, yes.
Now, is that a true story? Because my dad claims that he invented the yo-yo. So... No, I'm just kidding. I totally made that up, Dad. I love you. He didn't make up the yo-yo. It's like an ancient toy. But I don't know if I believe your sister. I've never met her, but I'm just saying... Like,
she'd smash your face in. But,
what is happening right now?
England won a fucking penalty shootout. That's what's going on right now, Oscar.
No, okay.
It is late over there. Jesus Christ, guys.
My favourite chocolate bar is... I don't really like chocolate bars, actually. Same as you, Oscar. Like, I'd go for more of a gummy candy. Jelly beans. I do like jelly beans.
That's not chocolate.
Or wine gums. Wine gums are kind of my favourite. It's like pinnacle of sweet.
So, Dave, your question sucks. We hate chocolate.
Yeah.
Swedish fish.
First fail for Dave Stateo. although Dave did tell me pre-tournament that his pick for the whole thing was Kane to win the Golden Boot and France to win. So...
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Okay, and we've got another one as well from Johnny OG. If you had to go on a lads' holiday with 3 of the England squad players, who would you choose?
Well, it's got to be Vardy, isn't it?
Oh, I hadn't thought of that, actually.
A number one is Jimmy Vardell.
Yeah.
Because, you know...
Case full of Skittle vodka.
Yeah, he brings the party. He'll have a hip flask. He won't... He won't fuck about. Raheem Sterling, because fuck what the papers say. He's a lovely guy.
Yeah, can you just give him a hug for me and tell him that he's a good person?
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't need all this hatred towards Raz. Like it's ridiculous. And number three. Well, based on the proceedings of this evening, it's got to be Jordan Pickford, isn't it?
Well,
Because he
there you go.
saved a penalty for England in a World Cup penalty shootout,
I'm
lads.
surprised you didn't say Jordan Henderson so you could punch him in the face.
Fuck him.
Nah, come on. Anyone who steps up and takes a penalty is fine by me. After like bottlers like Paul Ince or whatever, anyone who steps up and takes one, fine
Fair
by
enough,
me.
fair enough.
Yeah, true.
I got my answer now. I thought a little bit about it.
Go on.
I'm going to take two of them as like a pair. So I'm going to take two of my spots, but you got to take Dele Alli and Eric Dyer together. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but they're like super duper best friends.
Best buds.
And they're like adorable as hell on Twitter. They're always like making videos for each other. They just seem like a real good time. Like they just love each other to death. And they're all about like, you know what? Forget like toxic masculinity. I love you, bro. It's all good. So I feel like I'd be down to hang out with them. And then for my third person, that's tough. Like part of me wants to say Ruben Loftus-Cheek because I love him and I'm obsessed with him and maybe he wants to be friends with me if I meet him and I can convince him that I'm a nice guy. I don't know.
Romance.
I also kind of want to go Raheem Sterling, but you already said it. Like to give him a hug and say you're a good person. You know, people hate you for bad reasons. But I think I'm gonna go with Jesse Lingard. As much as Chuck hates him, I could just take selfies with him and send him to Chuck and be like, "We're having a good time." He seems like a chill dude. He likes to dance. You know, he likes a good celebration. Yeah, I don't know. I think
I've never seen Chuck so quietly angry. Thoughts, Chuck?
Yep.
Yeah, Chuck's dropped off the line.
Yeah,
It
did we
seems.
lose Chuck?
Yeah, weird.
Strange. How strange.
Jesse Lingard's a
Jesus Christ.
James Corden's a
Oh dear.
There's that Lithuanian fucking Jägermeister.
I might cut.
If you're going to cut that, then we'll start again.
No, it's all right. I could.
If you're going to cut it, you fucking cowards.
Oh God! I knew. Episode 5, and we're getting into this.
I don't like James Corden. He's not a nice man. I've seen him twice in public. True story. I've seen him twice in public. I've seen him once coming out of a McDonald's.
Yeah, obviously.
And the other time I've seen him coming out of a KFC.
Both good restaurants.
Oscar, we need to talk about your definition of restaurants.
When you're sad and having a crying meal in a parking lot, where do you go? KFC.
Because Germany are out of the World Cup.
I was pissed that you guys didn't lose today.
I bet you were.
I was like, you fuckers need to be as miserable as I am. Oh, if they're going to lose on penalties again, it's going to be
you can't
great.
pick the right team. It's not my fault you can't pick the right team, Oscar. That one of yours doesn't make it to the finals and one of yours doesn't make it to the knockouts. I'm sorry, but we did it. England won a penalty fucking shootout in the World Cup, and that's all that matters. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that's a good time to just fucking end it.
So before Chuck wraps up with a definitely not slurred outro, I'd just like to say we are now a 5-star podcast on iTunes, and it'd be lovely if you could rate or review us wherever you get your podcasts. We're on Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. If you could review us 5 stars, that would be amazing. We'd really appreciate it. And get your questions into us on Facebook and Twitter at Miles Offside Pod. Chuck, would you like to outro us?
Actually, you know, I think Chuck might be about to fall off his chair, so I'm going to do the outro here. Thank you, everybody, for listening and having a wonderful evening with us.
It's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming, football's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming, football's coming home. We won a penalty shootout, ladies and gentlemen. Yay!
And on that note, good night.
They've seen it all before.
Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very, 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 very much for joining us. My name's Chuck. And you can find me on Twitter if you really want to. If not, I'll just be celebrating. It'll be great. Fuck off. Cheers.